Ah, there you are. I was expecting you. Let us begin.
Beneath the mire of Blighttown, cocooned in a silky mound and interwoven with thick branches and roots, the corruption has not yet penetrated. Perhaps it is held back by the power of the Chaos Witch Sisters that have taken residence in the former bell tower, or perhaps it is merely the scorching heat from the lava flowing below that burns clean the taint in the air. Whatever this place was once called has been lost to time. It is known only now as Quelaag's domain, for the fiery sister of chaos that now rules its crumbling halls. The first thing to greet any unfortunate enough to stumble into her burrow is the thick linings of webbing covering the surfaces, peppered with clusters of eggs woven tight in the protective fibres. Here, beings have gathered to worship the fiery mistress. It is unclear if they were once undead, as although they bear a resemblance to humans, they can no longer be regarded as such, profaned as they now are. Left to crawl upon their bellies as their backs have been consumed by large egg sacs, so heavy as to force them to the floor, where they can do little but pray and worship their lady. Although time and pain eats away at most of the souls of Lordran, leaving them little more than mindless shells, the Lady Quelaag has remained true to her purpose. One of the daughters of the Witch of Izalith, she fled with one of her sisters after the birth of the Chaos Flame and the destruction of her home. Settling in these ruins, she tended to her sister, whose naive kindness would lead to her ingesting the blight pus from the pyromancer Ingi and leaving herself near death. The only solution to save her life was to make her a firekeeper and tie her to the bonfire in this place, though this did nothing to stop her agony. The only thing that could soothe her pain was the warmth of humanity. In return for her kindness were the creatures from above born, bearing the fair lady's eggs in her service to help lighten her load. There are others too that serve the Sister of Chaos in their own way, supplying her with humanity to help ease her pain. Among the most famous, the former Darkwraith Kirk, who, upon seeing his lady's plight, abandoned his loyalty to Karth and instead used his power to gather humanity in her name. And so, perhaps it is for this reason that Quelaag chose to spin her lair around one of the Bells of Awakening, knowing that undead would come to fulfill the prophecy, and in doing so would fall into her web and provide nourishment for her and her sister. And so in this place we must consider, is this the bottom of Lordran, or the top of a new land, the land of demons? Descending past the bell tower, the webbing and brick give way to molten lava and carved stone. There are stories that among the many daughters of the Witch of Izalith, she also bore a son, but he was a twisted thing, sores covering his body inflamed by lava. His sisters wept for him, loving him as they did, and forged for him a magical ring to soothe his pain. But, ever a clumsy child, he dropped the ring, which in turn transformed into a demonic centipede that would stand watch over the stone gates to the lost city. And he too would stand watch over the body of one of his sisters, perhaps the very sister who gifted him the ring. And while he stands guard, his lava-filled sores began to weep, their molten contents spilled forth, pooling and serving as a sort of defensive moat to the ruins below. Descending downwards, the ruins carved into the very cliff faces themselves, we can see signs of what was once a grand and powerful society amidst the crumbled stone and warped denizens. The flame of chaos wrought mayhem in these lands, and none could escape its grasp. But among all the demons, the oldest hold the most power, and it is said that guarding the path to the lost city of Izalith stands the first of the demons, still bearing his mighty catalyst against any would-be invaders. The roots and branches grow thicker here, as if a forest has taken root amidst the crumbling tiles and grandiose halls, or perhaps it is a sign of how deep under Lordran we now are, but yet we still have not yet arrived at the fabled city of Izalith.
Now go. Whatever you do, do not crack and go hollow, lest my time spent on you be wasted.